Welcome to Iraqi Dinar Hub. A lot of new information popped up, grabbing the attention of financial communities and investors who follow currency developments closely. Conversations moving through private channels are buzzing about reports that a long-anticipated event may have hit a key activation point. The chatter centers on claims that liquidity for what is called Tier 4B has been confirmed, a step that, if true, could be huge in the world of currency revaluation. Observers are pointing to what they describe as coordinated movements across banks, treasuries, and currency tracking systems. For those keeping an eye on this for years, the question has always been when signs would appear that the process was actually moving forward. Tonight, reports suggest many believe those signals are now showing up. The core claim circulating is that Tier 4B liquidity is officially confirmed. This term refers to private holders, basically non-institutional participants who have been waiting for their turn in the global revaluation process, including holders of the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong. Liquidity confirmed is being interpreted as an internal banking acknowledgement that funds are ready and assigned for this process. While it doesn't mean immediate public exchanges, it's being taken as a clear signal that the system is technically ready to operate, marking an important first step before broader rollout or announcements. It helps to understand what Tier 4B really means. This group is made up of private individuals and non-institutional holders who have been registered and prepared for redemption under a wider global framework. They're separate from big institutional players, like governments or large banks. For years, this tier has been the focus for ordinary people waiting for a currency revaluation, and activation here is often seen as the first sign that the process is moving from institutional levels to a more public phase. Any news about Tier 4B activation naturally becomes a hot topic. Another key element in the reports is codes. These aren't the funds themselves, but digital authorizations needed to unlock payment pathways within the global banking system. When Tier 4B codes are reported live, it means internal systems have received permission to move funds to verified accounts through secure networks. This distinction between the existence of funds and the authorization to move them is central. Historically, revaluation phases begin exactly this way, with codes granting transactional access. Analysts see the reported synchronization of banking and treasury systems as a sign that the payout process could be starting. Timing is a big deal here. Recent weeks have seen Iraq finalize its new exchange rate structures and complete internal banking reforms, including alignment with international compliance systems like SWIFT and ISO 20022 messaging standards. These upgrades are necessary for a currency to operate smoothly in global trade at a new valuation. Vietnam appears to be following a similar path, modernizing its banking system and preparing for digital settlements. The simultaneous movement of both countries is seen as more than coincidence, suggesting coordination for a globally integrated asset-backed system. Reports of internal test transactions add more fuel to the discussion. Back-end systems are reportedly showing small transfers between accounts linked to Tier 4B liquidity pools. These are symbolic, meant to confirm system readiness before the main wave of exchanges. Observers interpret this as a strong sign that the system is active and communicating correctly, a typical step in any major financial adjustment. Contacts within U.S. and international banks have reportedly noticed placeholders for Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong on internal screens, flagged as pending rate update. While not visible to the public, this status is meaningful internally, signaling that a rate change is imminent. Similar sequences have occurred in past currency reevaluations just before official rates were released, making this a technical clue that the system is preparing. This is different from rumors on public forums. These are system-level changes visible to people with access to internal banking databases. The presence of placeholders is interpreted as a confirmation that the revaluation mechanism is active. The focus here is on internal readiness, not public-facing rates, which is why analysts consider this a more reliable signal of progress. Private Tier 4B holders are naturally paying close attention. If liquidity is confirmed and codes are live, the next step could involve scheduled redemption appointments at secure, authorized centers. These centers have reportedly been quietly established over months to handle exchanges under strict compliance conditions, rather than through normal bank branches. The process involves identity verification, currency presentation, and anti-fraud checks to ensure all exchanges are legitimate. Upon verification, funds would reportedly be credited to newly structured accounts linked to what some describe as a quantum financial framework. This isn't just a currency trade, it's entry into a new, more transparent system. For long-time holders, the activation of Tier 4B represents a major milestone after years of waiting. What sets this moment apart is alignment. Reports suggest Iraq, Vietnam, the U.S. Treasury, and major global banks are all in sync. Previously, readiness varied by region, causing bottlenecks. Now, simultaneous movement across multiple systems points to a coordinated activation, essential for a smooth global revaluation. Analysts see Tier 4B liquidity confirmation as the real start of this long-discussed event. Another layer involves asset-backed currency. Financial systems are increasingly moving toward currencies backed by physical assets like gold, oil, or commodities, rather than purely fiat systems. If Tier 4B exchanges are occurring within this framework, it suggests the asset-backed model is operational, which could increase transparency and reduce manipulation. In this view, liquidity release isn't just payouts, it's the start of a new financial era. The rollout also appears calm and precise. Unlike the chaos some might expect during major financial events, markets remain steady. Everything is unfolding quietly and methodically, suggesting centralized control. Historically, successful major transitions happen quietly, with technical systems ready before public announcements. That seems to be the case here. Global context matters too. Inflation, shifting trade balances, and geopolitical changes are prompting recalibration worldwide. Iraq's economy has strengthened with higher oil output and expanding trade, while Vietnam is growing as a major manufacturing hub. Both nations have modernized banking systems, aligning with global standards. Observers see these upgrades as preparation for this very moment. For long-term currency holders, patience is key. Many have waited years, or even decades through cycles of speculation and misinformation. Major financial shifts require years of coordination, legal work, and technical preparation. That SY Tier 4B liquidity reports feel so significant, they reflect the culmination of structural work coming together, where long-term vigilance meets operational readiness. Technically, confirmation of Tier 4B liquidity suggests that data links between central banks, treasuries, and commercial banks are live. Verification codes are reportedly moving through encrypted channels, and communication between previously separate systems is working. Observers point to subtle shifts in interbank settlements and transaction timing as early signs of back-end recalibration. The fact that these trends appear across regions strengthens the case for a real systemic event. To wrap up, overnight reports suggest Tier 4B liquidity has been confirmed for Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong holders. For those tracking this space, it's more than just financial news, it's the first operational signal of a long-awaited shift. Systems appear active, internal rates are aligning, and a new framework is taking shape. All signs point to the beginning of a new chapter, and we'll keep following these developments as more information comes in.